Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on Upptalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say Upptalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you are new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
In the last call, we just did the reverse proxy and then we did the components of the like Ping-Federate and PingAccess for the authentication system. Now here we are going to do that. We'll proceed with the same steps. We have created the, can you go back to the Notepad++? We created the authentication requirement and we created the rules also. That is what we did in the last call. Here, this is the one. Now the next step, what we are going to do now, we need to go to the Ping-Federate. Ping-Federate, we need to create a selector for that PA auth and write which we created the rules, the authentication requirement. That one. For that we need to go to the Ping-Federate and create a policy for a policy, and we need to create a policy for that. We need to create a policy for that. You're getting my point? Yes. Can you go to the Ping-Federate console? In the Ping-Federate, we did the like, select the concept. In the like, we did the selector concept all. Here we are going to use that query parameter selector in what we did. If you remember that, yes, you are selector. Go to the authentication. Select us here. In the hand side. Now here what you're going to do. Here create a new instance again. The query parameter selector which we create, we need to use the same thing that is known as the ACR selector, authentication context request parameter selector, in short form ka. Because in Ping that's a PingAccess selector also, we can mention, you can put simple form ACR, the short form. Oh, this is just for my own. Instance ID to maybe you can put ACR, authentication context request parameter selector. No, I think it should be going more than 33 characters. Authentication context request. Request select. You can put. Maybe in the instance ID you can put. Choose the type as authentication context request parameter selector. That is request. No underscore won't work in the instance ID. Only you can put AC. That's enough. Here in the drop down, you can put requested and context parameter selector. That is the one. The next line. No, last before one. This is the one. Click on next here. Now here in this case. Now here, click on next. The parameter name will automatically comes ACR underscore values. We don't need to specify any parameter name because it is coming from the PingAccess automatically. Click on next, only the value we need. What is the value we have given in the PingAccess? We have given that authentication requirement. That one we need to copy paste. You can click on next here. I'm just reading through it. Yes, we are going to add and update that attribute value. In the next line, we will be adding it. If there is no value, it will go as a no. Here we will give one value. The cell value, PA. I think you can go to the PingAccess. You can copy, paste the same. No, I think it's in the lower case. Can you go to in the access, we have created the authentication requirements in the top access in the left hand side authentication. It is the under authentication requirement. Yes, see, copy that and paste it. Then only being fed. It can understand this is coming from the ping access like that. Add it, click on next, next and save it. Now that authentication, no, you need to add it and then click on next and save it. Now here you can save. This is just a summary what we have given till now. Add or update authentication context attribute, which is this is what allowed us to edit those details basically. What is the overall authentication context flow? If you want to true, the next value is there. No match or not in request, that will get enabled. For example, no match attribute means, for example, let's say if there is no value, it can able to proceed for any other option also. Here, we didn't enable no match value. That means we will have only one value to be matching PA. If it is coming up, the policy will work. If it is not coming up, the policy will get fail. It will go to the next policy. If it is not coming up, if you enable that, no match value means we can have another option called no option. If that value PA is not coming, means we can put another value, that another value. We can able to put it as a rule in the policy and trigger a different adapter for that purpose only. But here in PingAccess, we don't need that because it's only one value. We are going to use it. Got it. Now here in this kind of a concept, now we need to create a policy. Can you go to the policy? In the left hand side, create a new. Let's create another policy because we already have a policies. Maybe we can put this on, maybe ping access policy or something like that because we are using it for PA. Description also you can put it now here if you scroll down in the policy drop down. We can connect that selector, we can use that selector. Before all the API. I know that's not required. No, that's not required. Scroll down. Yes, in the policy drop down we can choose that particular. That's the idea selector which you created. Now for that one, if that particular PA ATN coming up mean if PA ATN is coming up, we can choose one kind of a select, one kind of an adapter. What adapter? Maybe we can trigger HTML adapter which you create. I think we create a lot of adapters. We can create HTML form. Failure is done. Success is, I think we are using policy contract if I'm not wrong. Failure is done only. Because it's wrong credentials, we are not going to do anything else. Success, you can put in the drop down, you can choose the policy contract. In the drop down, another drop down. No, in the drop down, success drop down. There will be one more drop down. Yes, you can choose a policy contract. Choose that policy contract here. I think policy 1 we are using and click on the contract. Because we need to pass the attributes. Click on next here. I think we are getting it from the yes only, subject only, to subject as adapter and username. That's all. Click on next, next, and that's all. Click on Done and save it. That's all basically. What is this? What are we doing? We could have just selected a test form adapter in here. Which one? Oh, we are using this test form adapter only, HTML adapter for PI out there. If that value ACR underscore values is equal to PI out there, it will trigger this adapter for the user. The user will get the logins, basically. And also, in order to trigger this particular policy, we are using the policy contract. If you remember, that policy contract is a bridge between the SAML connection to the policy or connection to the policy. That's why we are using the policy contract here. You're getting my point. Yes, but instead of doing it this way, couldn't we have just gone there and oh, we cannot use an adapter in the way. We cannot use that one in the PingAccess or here also. That is why. Basically, in the case of Ping-Fed connecting to PingAccess, we have to go with the selector and the policies. Exactly. Just for the in the OR. We cannot just use the wrap in the OR. We cannot, no. It will get confused. If you are using multiple token manager and all it will get confused, it won't work without policy. If you use this select, we can able to understand this policy is only for PingAccess and we can also differentiate from the Ping-Federate and PingAccess easily because there are certain application. It won't go for PingAccess also. It will stay in Ping-Federate only. We need to differentiate those things also. That we should not get confused with what are the application in Ping-Federate only, what are the application both Ping-Federate and PingAccess also. That's why we are using this one to differentiate the process. Got it now? If you see this policy, it is that we can understand this is going to the PingAccess. It is going from the PingAccess to the Ping-Federate action. Click on yes, click on done now. That's all. Once you click on done here, one thing we need to do. Here there is a CIDR policy which is using above than that one. Can you move that policy to the second one? Because for this policy is having a dependency. No, you need to move the policy to the above CIDR. Because this policy does not going to have anything, we can move it as number 1. It won't affect anything else. Click on save. Yes, the question that I'm asking is that between Ping-Federate and PingAccess, we don't have any other choices. We have to go with selector-based options. Exactly, there is only this selector. This is the only selector that the ACR selector. There is no other. I mean, there is an option you can map that adapter directly to the token manager if you can go to the applications and token manager there. Can you go to the applications in the top? Here in this one, access token mappings. Click on that access token mappings. Here, in this case, we are mapping the policy contract to the token manager. You can directly map the adapter also basically. Here, you don't need to create a policy. But suppose if you are having multiple token managers in the hand side like this. I'm mapping multiple adapters means it is not. It's like it will create a confusion and it won't work properly. As I already mentioned, you need multiple adapters. You need if you are mapping multiple adapters to SAML connection or what configuration, you need a policies and selectors. That is why we are using the policies and selector option. Getting my point? If you are using only one adapter, that is only one. Mapping here means we don't need anything else. There is nothing here. But here the problem. Here we are mapping multiple adapters in the real time, and that is the reason we are using the policies and selector. And also, if you are using the policy, contract also means you need a policy and selectors to do that. It's a regular work. And in general, we use policies and selectors only. We never use adapter mapping. Directly adapter mapping and all. You can. If you want, you can use if you are using only one adapter. If there is a multi-factor adapter or multiple adapters is coming up, it's definitely. This is not the way. And policies and selectors is the proper way because it will create unnecessary confusion. And if you are having multiple 100 applications or 200 applications or 300 or 1600 application means it's like 2. It's not easy to manage at the time. You need a policy for that. That's the reason we are using a policy. Now here, I think in the Ping-Fed we created a policy and selected. That's fine. We already have everything set it up in the Ping-Fed like access token manager is already there. Now only we will create a client ID. Client ID with authorization code grant type that one. We will do that. Go to the client ID in the left-hand side clients. Let's create one client ID for PingAccess. That one application from PingAccess will connect to the Ping-Fed. Already we have created different client ID. This is for PingAccess, maybe P_AP, P1_client or something like that we can put. This is easier to understand it. I gave the name also same client secret we can put because client secret is required for this one. We can change the secret there. Yes, test 1 to 3 or something like that we can put. Oh, this is also we can put scroll down. We can do the redirect. You are there. Let's put the redirect. You are a redirect to the. As of now, we need to get it from the PingAccess. As of now, we can put https:// Your host name only, we will put it later. We will get it from the PingAccess. Because this redirect you will be getting from PA only. Just as of now, put your host name. Just paste it, add it. Now again, bypass authorization of will be dead. If you remember that one bypass authorization of will, you can check that box. Yes, now obviously we can use authorization code grant type that when we can use it authorization code grant type, we don't need anything else. That's fine. And if a refresh token is not, because this is for PingAccess redirection only. These are all not required. But what happens if the session expires? Doesn't PingAccess need to refresh the session with another? That kind of an option is not there in the PingAccess to refresh the concept. That's not yet. Maybe in future it might come, but it's not yet there. Even though if you enable the PingAccess, won't care about detection. The thing is that PingAccess is maintaining the session. Here, for example, if the access token is expired, that's fine. That's not a problem. The user will try to access the application again and they'll try the credentials. That's not a problem. Refresh token is not. That option is not there yet because we are doing authorization and all. It's better not to use it. And also it's like this is not as straight what we can say. The PingAccess is acting as a resource server, not the application. PingAccess is providing the attributes to the application in the backend. That is the resource server. Who is the server? Who is hosting the resources in the backend? Refresh token is not required for in this use case. And even access token validation also is not required because automatically PingAccess will validate it. We don't need that by using a certificate. That's why we are going to use the JWT token manager. Reference token manager, it won't work here. You need a JWT JSON web tokens. Choose the token manager as JWT in the drop-down default token manager. It is there. How does that work if PingAccess doesn't have the refresh token? Won't there be a session timeout? Session timeout. It will be there after session timeout again. They need to log in again. It will get logged out. The user will get logged out. Then they need to try to access it again. They will be using the seamless authentication only inside the organization network. Only problem will come after. The comes after like what we can say when the user is trying to access from the outside organization network. Because in that case it will log out every 2 hours. Can we increase this time here for this connection? I know we can increase it, that's not a problem. But in real time, 2 hours is maximum. I mean, it's good to have it in 2 hours. You can increase up to 24 hours also. But that's like application wish only. But it's better to have it lesser time. I'm thinking that after 2 hours, if being fed and being accessed don't work, basically the connection is broken between being fed and being accessed, although the user session valid. I'm being fed. No, that's all. See if there is something broken, means that's all it will. It won't work for anyone. The connection should have to be established every time. If there is something happened in between that 2 hour session, which it will work in between, it won't work. Because if something happened after 2 hours, I mean in between 2 hours after 2 hours, that's all basically. Again, they will try to get another token. It won't work because the connection has been broken. Getting my point? What is access token validation? If you remember that we are validating the token in Postman, we did 3 different calls for validating the token to check whether token is valid or not and get the user information from the token. Like one AP call which we did. One other validation call is this access token validation action. Yes. And we don't know the user attributes. No, that's not required because being access. If you remember, we did YDC endpoint user info dot OpenID to validate the token. You remember that one? PingAccess will use that one to validate it. There are 3 options. PingAccess is using that user info dot OpenID, and also PingAccess is using certificate automatically to validate also. I think this one we did. No, access token validation is there, that one. Even in this token validation call, this is the one. User information in the response section. And default token manager. You can choose that token manager in the drop-down. We need to use only the JWT here. JWT is the one which will work. Reference token. It won't. The short token which we saw, that one, it won't work here. And also if you scroll down, you can choose the YDC policy. The first token settings are not required. Policy. The policy as I think. No, not that one. That's algorithm is default. It automatically takes H256 only in the third option. The default option. Choose that, I think YDC JWT because that both of them should match. then only the YDC call will work. Run and save it, that's all. Now we create a client ID. This client ID secret, we need to use it in the PingAccess. Ping-Federate configuration. We have completed. We have created a client ID secret. Policy selectors and everything is done. Attributes. Also, you can see it in the token manager what variables we are passing in the token. Those are all. Everything is done. Now we need to go to the PingAccess and create a configuration. In the PingAccess, we created a rule that's done. Authentication requirement is done. Now, which will host, if you remember, which will host on the site, who is hosting the resources. Those two parts. Also, it's already done. Now what you are going to do, we are going to enable the web session, the client, any client secret which we have created here. We need to use it in the PingAccess. Let's go ahead. Can you go to the PingAccess now? First, in the left-hand side web session is the one. Whatever the client ID which you have created, we need to configure it here at the session here. What are the client ID secret? And then the authorization code, grant type and all. Everything is going to manage it here only. In the resource server, you are configuring it. What are the client ID secret you created in the Ping-Federate? You need to share it with the resource server. This means it's a PingAccess only. Instead of PingAccess, you are configuring it to do the authentication system. Client name you can put maybe AP1_US web session, short form US. Or PA_app_BUS like that. Is it PAO? Because we are getting this from the internet. PF_app_BUS web session. These are all naming convention. We can put audience also same. It's a naming convention, only some kind of a unique character, because it will create a cookie based on this name only. Suppose application is asking for a different name in the cookie. You can use that one. What is the client ID which you have created? App_app_client. That's the one, because that is following the authorization code and secret what we have secret used. CD1. This client ID we created just now. That is a seamless. If you remember, we enabled that communication between PF and PingAccess. You remember that one by uploading the certificate and all token provider and all. Well, based on that one, it's a I just remember we created this client. We created this one, in fact, yes. Since the communication, the connection is between PF and P is enabled. The admin console connection, that is the first step we did after installing the PA. If you remember, we uploaded the certificate, we get a key paper and all we did. During that one, we established that connection. If the connection is still there, it will automatically show action. You don't need to worry about it. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.